Hello and welcome to the new session on structures. This is part 3 and today's topic is nesting of structures. Hope you will enjoy this particular topic. To discuss a content for this nesting of structures, I have consulted or compiled a session from this particular resources. First one is Let Us See, written by Yashwant Kanitkar, Programming in NCC by E. Balagurusamy. Third one, Programming in C, A Practical Approach, written by Ajay Mittal. And the last one, Wikipedia ORG. Let's start the session. Nested structures means structures within a structure. I have a structure priorly already declared and I am trying to call this structure into another one. So structure can be nested within another structure. A nested structure are used to create complex data types. What it means, let me explain you. I have to declare a data structure of employee type say having one as integer its ID, second its float as its salary, and one is date of joining. Oh, what is this? Date of joining. C doesn't have any format to store date of joining. So what we are trying to do, we want to create one more structure which is actually having integer type day, integer type month, and integer type say year. So inside my employee structure, I have also declared one more structure, that is date of joining or say date, which is also a combination of some other structure. So if such kind of combination I have to create in my C programming, then it will be termed as declaring structure within another structure. This is possible in C. Let me clear the screen. Now, how to nest structures? They can be nested in code with the help of two basic criteria. First one is by separate structures and another one an embedded structures. Let us see how separate and embedded structures has been declared and how you can relate them and easily identify what is a separate kind of structure and what is an embedded kind of structures. We will explain it with the help of simple example. First, we will go for separated structure. Say, I have a structure whose name is name. Inside this, I want to store first name and the second name or say last name. So I declared a character array of size 20 as first name. Similarly, character array of 20 represented as last name. And now I am closing it. This one structure is cleared. Nothing to be done inside this. Now I want to create one more structure, say structure employee. This is having a struct name employee name. See, what is this? This is the same one. struct name emp name. This is my first member of employee. Second one is employee ID, and the next one is float salary. Close it and make a variable of it as employee 1. So in this way you can see that I have created one structure employee. I have also created one structure name. Inside my second employee structure, I have created a member of earlier defined structure. This is how I am maintaining nesting of structures. This structure is separate and this structure is separately defined. Both are individually defined, but inside the second one I have created a member of the first one. See, it has been closed over here and another structure starts over here and it ends at this particular point, and the first variable of my structure employee is emp1. Please remember it. In future we will use this employee 1 to discuss further elements. Now, how to write embedded structure? Directly this time I am writing struct employee. See, this has to be in lowercase. Please correct it. I have created another structure name. See, this is a structure employee. Inside its boundary, I am calling or creating one more structure as name. Character array of size 20 represented by first name. Character array of 20 represented by last name. I am now terminating this particular structure name and giving its reference or name as emp name. See, compare it with this emp name. Now I need two more things in employee as employee ID and employee salary. Employee ID, employee salary. Now close this overall structure and represent its first variable as emp1. So what you have observed that in the first case I have defined one structure and I have called its variable inside another structure. These are two separate structures. But in case of this, you may easily observe that an inner structure is declared inside one outer structure. This is called embedding inside another. So this one is my outer structure and this one is my inner structure. In this two different ways, both can work very easily in C, and in this way we can define nesting of structures in C. Now some important points related to nesting of structures. The nested structures contain the member of other structure type. This is what we have seen in earlier. Employee is having member of name as emp name. Employee structure is having member as ID, salary, and the one more of struct name as emp name. So what I am trying to say, structure contains member of another structure type. This structure employee contains member of another structure type name. The structure type used in structure definition should be defined prior and should be completed. Means structure has to be terminated by semicolon. This means completed. And before calling a member, creating a member in a structure, the earlier has to be defined first. Now, if this in this way I am able to declare a structure inside in a structure, then how I will access each individual member of my structure. So it is been represented in the next topic, accessing nested structures. We can access the member of the nested structures by outer structure variable dot nested structure variable dot member. In this particular sequence, I can access individually member. What it means? It means that I have a member employee 1. It is having a nested structure variable as employee name, and the member of inner one, it is first name. Outer structure variable, nested structure variable, member of nested one. You can verify it with the earlier example. Now see how we can do it in our program. So we have to write a simple program to read and print the values of employee using nesting of structures. Just have a quick look to the program, what we will develop in our IDE. This will be our separated structure, two structure. First one is declared and its member has been created in the second one, and second type will be embedded, where the outer structure is actually declaring one more structure into it as a member along with the demanded members. In this way we are creating embedded structure, and this is the way where we are using separate structure. To keep a pace of our program, what I have did, I have already written a simple program, and then I will show you its code, how it is being running on a IDE. For your convenience, the code of this program is also given in the description section. You can download it and you can also modify it as per your demand. So let's move to the IDE. This is our IDE. I have already created such program. First we will cover the separate structure program. This is a separate nested structure. This is having the same structures what we have studied in the slides. So this is the code over here. Let me pull it down. So you can observe that this is one structure named struct name. This is having two such strings, first name and last name. Each string can hold up to 20 such characters. So there are two such character arrays. After closing it, I am creating one more structure, and inside this structure employee, I will create a reference of this, means as a variable of it, struct name emp name. Once it has been declared inside a structure, this variable will be termed as its member. So one of the member of this employee is another structure member. Integer employee ID, float salary. Now close this another structure with the help of semicolon. So in this way, you have declared your two structures. Now move to a main function. Inside main, I have created a variable of my employee structure. See, this is the one which is calling the name also. So I am creating a reference or variable of my employee structure. So first I will scan some values, that means values to all such members of my employee. To do so, I give certain instruction or a message on a screen, printf employee ID. Now read scanf %d ampersand variable name dot member name. So employee ID employee 1 dot employee ID. Similarly, employee first name C. Here no first name and second name is there, but I need to handle first name and second name. So the earlier discussed format will be helpful over here. Means your outer variable name, inner variable name, and the member name. Means structure variable name, secondary structure variable name, and its member. Employee 1 dot employee name dot first name. Similarly, I can access employee 1 dot employee name dot last name as my last name entry. So once I am calling this emp1 dot emp name dot last name, actually it belongs to here only, but it will be called with the help of variable defined by employee. And similarly, I can access the salary part of it, ampersand emp1 dot salary. This all will be read by my system, and then I want to take a print of it. So its counter version will be over here, means printf version emp1 dot emp id, emp first name as %s, emp1 dot emp name dot first name, emp1 dot emp name dot last name, and emp1 dot salary. So in this way you can write your simple reading and writing program. Let's compile it and see what happens. It has been compiled successfully. No error is there. You can see no error, no warning. Let's run it. A simple message generated by my antivirus. Say employee ID is 2002 or say 1. Name is Milind. Last name is Bhatt. Say some salary, and it will be repelled by my program. That means these four values has been read, and now the output will be ID is 2001, first name is Milind, last name is Bhatt, and salary is something .20. See, only 2 zeros there. Why it is 20? Because at the time of printing I have fixed decimal places by this particular segment, %.2f. So whatever the numbers will be there, only 2 decimal places will be taken by the number, rest will be rounded off. In this way you can create your separate nested structure. Now we will move to the embedded one. In both the programs this main part remains similar, exactly similar. Then difference lies between this separate will be converted to embedded one. Let's open it. Embedded nested structure. Here it is. You can download a code and check that every single statement mentioned inside this main, it is exactly the same as mentioned in separate nested structure. What lies different in this particular example is that in spite of creating struct name outside this employee, this has been defined inside the employee. So my outer structure will be employee. Inside this, I am declaring one more structure as name and all the demanded member of this name as first name and last name. At the time of its termination, I am giving its variable as EMP name. This variable will be treated as a member of structure employee. Now the other two members for this employee ID and the salary. Rest part inside main will remain as such. Now I'm creating again a variable of struct employee emp1 and do all the similar tasks exactly as we did in the earlier one. And now try to compile it. No warnings, no errors. Just do it. Again, I am trying to give something new. Say something Mayank, say something as Bhatt, say some salary as something, and now see. It is doing the same task as we did with the separate structure. So no matters how you are handling the structures, but nesting occurs in a way and the representation or the execution of both the nested structures will be the same. No difference in their execution. The difference lies only how you are declaring it. Hope you have understood the program. So here I end my session related to nesting of structures. Next topic will be array of structures. Thank you.